everybody, welcome back to my channel. So in our last house we had a few chickens. I think it was five chickens, and my wife was just telling me the other day how much she missed having fresh eggs and having the chickens running around, which I agree with her. Before I get into that, the plan was when we bought our new homestead to work on the land, setting up fencing and pastures and fix our house. We need to do some flooring and whatnot, and then we'll start worrying about animals come springtime. Well, as you can imagine, that went right out the window. We got a couple of goats, and talking about the chickens, we went and got some baby chicks. The rationale behind it does make sense. We figured that, well, she figured if we wait till spring to get chickens, it's going to take 4 or 5 months before they start laying. So from now to spring plus 4 or 5 months, it's going to be forever until we start having eggs again. So she's like, why don't being that we have a mild climate here in South Carolina, why don't we get chicks now? By the time they're of laying age, it'll be middle of winter, but it's a mild winter here. Maybe we'll get an egg or two or something like that. But spring rolls around, we'll have eggs. I said, that does make sense. The only issue is I know that we wanted more than 5 chickens now that we have acreage. So the brooder that I did have was basically like a tote from Home Depot that I kind of hacked up and put some hardware cloth on the top and whatnot. And that wasn't going to fit the amount of chickens that we needed. So we went and bought chickens without having a big enough brooder for them. So we kind of put some stuff together real quick, and I ran to Home Depot to buy some material to put a brooder together. So yeah, in typical fashion, we just weren't ready. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the previous brooder we had. You can see I just cut the top off, or a section of the top off, and zip tied some hardware cloth to it for ventilation. And it's just a Rubbermaid, or not Rubbermaid brand, but a plastic tote from Home Depot. And it fit 5 chickens just fine with the heat plate and food and water. But we got 14 this time, so we separated them by having the larger ones in here. And I was just using an old Chewy's box for the little guys. But that's not really ideal. I'll show you what I came up with. So basically I needed something that was big enough to hold all the chickens that we're gonna have, plus be expandable for future use. And of course, again, I have limited tools, so I can't really build all that much. I think we have a little tiny sawzall, not a full sawzall, like a hacksaw they call it, and a cordless drill, and a pair of pliers, pretty much. So that's what we had to work with. So what I came up with was basically, I can't cut sheets of wood. So I came up with making a brooder that's 8 feet by 2 feet, by 2 feet high. And what that basically meant was that I can take a full sheet of plywood from Home Depot, have them rip it right in half. So that's basically 2 by 8, 2 pieces. That will make the long sides. Then I grabbed one of their 2x4 pieces of plywood, had them rip that, well, not rip, but chop that in half, and that made the 2 side walls, or the front and back walls. Basically like a long rectangle, if you will. I then took 2x2s, cut that in 4 sections, and made that the corners to brace everything together. So this is the finished product. The little guys are in here and they seem happy. The larger chickens are off to this side, and what I did was I partitioned off the last 2 feet with a piece of hardware cloth, and I've got all the little guys over here. What I plan on doing is maybe cutting a little opening eventually that just they can fit through, so that if they get brave and they want to venture into the bigger chickens, they can do that, but still be able to escape that way for safety if they start to, you know, get picked on or bullied or whatnot. But I think it's a good setup. This is removable, so that if I ever want to start getting into pasture raised meat chickens, we can kind of use this for some of them as well. Now, if you notice there's a tarp here, that's because this has no floor, and I did that intentionally so that I could, you know, move it out on pasture and do meat chickens in here. I wouldn't be able to do too many. I mean, 2x8, you know, if I do, you know, red ranges or Cornish cross, I mean, maybe I'd be able to get 10 chickens okay in there, but it's a start. At least it's able to be repurposed. So, you know, we got the removable divider here, and then I hung, or I mounted 2 more pieces of 2x2 to suspend their feeder and their water, and it also ties everything together and gives it a lot more strength and rigidity. Anyway, I'm reasonably happy about how it came out. It's a bit heavier than I thought it would be, so I think what I need to do is you know, mount a handle or 2 on each side, so that you know, my wife and I can carry it a little better. We have it on our front porch for right now because I have power over here and I want to be able to run their heat plate so the little guys can stay warm, even though it's brutally hot here. That was the other problem I was having with this, which is that it took me, believe it or not, a simple box like this, but 2 days to build, because it's just prohibitively hot here in South Carolina. Or maybe these guys think I'm weak, whatever, the locals that live here, but coming from the Northeast, this heat and humidity is just absolutely brutal. So, you know, I'd run out and I'd do 5 minutes worth of work and run back inside and wash off. And I mean, just putting the 4, you know, sides together, the walls, was about 3 showers. So it took me quite some time just because I had to keep taking breaks. So I'll introduce you. This here's a Buff Orpington. That's a barred rock. That right there is what's called an Andalusian chicken, and she was free because her left eye, I don't know if it got infected or pegged, but it's not looking so good. It's kind of closed up. You can see it. So she's, I think, blind in one eye, but we'll do our best. This guy right here, he's a cockerel. Young rooster. He's a Welsummer, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen what a fully feathered out Welsummer looks like, but they're just beautiful, beautiful birds. And maybe corny, but I've always wanted a Welsummer rooster, and now I have one. Where we used to live, we couldn't have roosters, only hens, because we lived in such close proximity to neighbors that, you know, a rooster would make so much noise and people didn't want to hear that. This dude right here, well, dudette with her crazy haircut, is called a crevicore, and I believe, despite being all black, she lays white eggs. If anyone knows anything about them or wants to correct me on that, that's fine, because it's my first time owning one. I don't know too much myself either, but I was told that they lay white eggs. Over here on this side, these are cochins, bantam cochins, and they're the calico coloring. The one in the middle, that's a rooster, I believe. And these 2 are hens, but they don't get as big. They have the fluffy feet going on. They're really interesting looking birds, and they're very friendly, and they have a good temperament. Not prolific layers, though. can't really get any footage of the chicks, the little tiny ones right now. And to be honest, I'm not really too sure about the sex and the breeds, because I know some of them are actually kind of mixed with other things. We got an escapee over here. I almost forgot to mention one of the channels that kind of inspired us to get started, not just with making videos but homesteading as well, is called Country View Acres. Some really nice people, Evan and Rebecca. They have a homestead in southern Illinois, I believe it is. They built their own house. It's a log cabin kit, and really building up their farm. You just got a great video series. Go check them out. I think you'll like it. Well guys, thanks for hanging out with me today on the homestead. Hope you enjoyed meeting my chickens and learning about what we're doing over here. Follow along. We have some more projects coming up soon. I think in the next week or two, we're gonna be picking up one of those portable tents, kind of like a portable garage, they call it. But my pod, or my shipping container from New York, is finally on its way as of today, and they're saying it should be here, I think, on the 17th of September. So we'll have to get everything that's in our pantry area now out and into the portable garage. And I think we're gonna be, it's gonna become hay storage and whatnot, so that we can make room for all of the tools and everything into the pantry / garage area until we can build a shop. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope to catch you again on the next one. If you get the chance, if you don't mind, please like and subscribe so you can get notified when we do make new videos. It really helps us out. And we hope to see you back here again soon. Thanks, bye-bye.